Welcome to the Cleveland Browns Title Parade, sponsored by Excedrin and cleveland.com. Now, to our hosts, Doug Lesmerises and Bud Shaw.
Welcome to the Browns' perfect season parade. It's the culmination of the greatest sports accomplishment in Cleveland sports history, an undefeated Browns season. Doug?
Bud, it is just a great day for Cleveland. It is so good to see you. Thanks for coming out of retirement. Looking good. I saw you on your mobility scooter earlier.
I move like the Browns offense used to, Doug.
Bud Shaw, you haven't lost it, buddy. You haven't lost it one bit. I'll tell you what, Bud, it is hard to believe. It was not that long ago that these same fans were out here for a perfect season parade for going 0-16, remember?
I remember it well, kind of well.
Oh, man, they were carrying headstones for all the failed Browns quarterbacks. It's unbelievable.
It's a lot of headstones, Doug.
You know, remember when Hugh jumped in the lake? Hugh Jackson jumped in the lake because they went 0-16. I think he was guaranteeing to make the Great Lakes great again. Remember back in those days, Bud?
He'd be the only guy that could do that. Yeah, I can't remember a lot of things, Doug, but that is also one of them. You know, the parade goes past the Dilly Dilly Pit of Misery. There are artifacts in there from Brown seasons dating back to 1999. Remember that back that far? The floats will then turn away from Hugh Jackson Pier, go up Isaiah Thomas Boulevard, and turn on to Jose Ramirez Way.
So what else are we going to have here today for this fantastic parade? Well, we know fans are going to hear from perennial All-Pro Myles Garrett, who, as we know, is nearing Joe Thomas's consecutive snaps record after getting over some early injuries.
You know, didn't you espouse drafting Mitch Trubisky instead of him back in the day? I can't remember.
But this is about today. This is not about the past. But, you know, it's hard to believe. Speaking of the past and the present, hard to believe Joe Thomas still playing today.
Yeah, it really is, Doug, and I'll bet when they told him that he'd be used only in victory formations, he probably flashed back to 2016 and 17 and thought, okay, I could do that. Turns out they needed him there 19 times, including a Super Bowl win over Mike Pettin and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Saquon! There's Saquon Barkley, everybody, scored the game-winning touchdown in the Super Bowl after Corey Old Glue Fingers Coleman got the Browns in the red zone.
Well, you mentioned how great it was for Hugh Jackson and Sashi Brown to come back to this, and Jimmy Haslam too. It's also great to see Greg Williams back. Come get some, Coach! Okay, there's lots of alumni, Doug. That's Dwayne Rudd down there wearing his helmet, still refuses to take it off. And I absolutely love that Jabril Peppers has his own float and that it's 25 yards behind the rest of the defensive players. I think that's pretty funny. That's him celebrating our first championship for the Cleveland Browns in this town since 1964. Do you remember back that far?
I cannot, Bud. There it is, Bud. I think we can see the last float approaching Public Square. Yep, that's him. Here it comes, Bud. This is the float that we've all been waiting for.
We certainly have, Doug. And you know, it's been said 1,000 times by now that you just cannot imagine Cleveland sports without this guy. That's how amazing he's been. This city has had LeBron, and we know what he did. But then drafting this quarterback, Doug, with the first pick in 2018, turned out to be the most important move the Browns ever made and one of the greatest in the history of sports in this city.
He's holding the Lombardi Trophy, but I have some tears in my eyes. This is an unbelievable situation. The greatest player in Browns history. What a moment. Here he is, the Browns legend and quarterback,